Live.
Go? Hey, what's going on, guys? Shane here, joined by the Soul Assassin, Kevin Ross. And today we are here on behalf of the Super Seminars, which is happening here December 8th and 9th at Temple City at the Shaolin Cultural Center. We'll have more details on that. You can grab your tickets at superseminarsworldseries.com, and if you use the code UNDERDOGS, you get $50 off of your tickets. So today, Kevin Ross, what are we going to be learning today? Some defensive moves, right?
Yeah, I'm going to basically be showing how we can use our opponent's strikes to set up our own strikes in the process of them, whether they're hitting us or we're defending. You're always going to be open for something, and showing how to apply that and be able to almost let your opponent tell you what's open and available to you.
Awesome. For those of you who don't know who Mr. Kevin Ross is, he's known as one of the best North American Muay Thai fighters of all time. One of my personal favorite fights is him against Yamato, the first fight in Las Vegas. You guys got to check that out. If you haven't seen it, it's full of sweeps and elbows and blood.
And my blood.
Lots of blood, lots of blood, but it's warrior spirit all the way through. You guys got to check that one out. All right, cool. So without further ado, let's break down working off the parry and some follow-ups and counters.
Okay.
Cool.
So the simplest way to do this is literally for you just to stand there with your punch out, just so I can get the distance and the timing of all of this, and eventually we'll kind of speed things up, and that will give us the ability to do this more realistically. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is working off of this parry. So as he's punching me, I'm just doing a simple parry. Now, in the process of this, I'm trying to pay attention to where he is open. A lot of times, that inside leg kick, that body kick, outside as well, and then you can get into how to punch off that, how to elbow off that, and everything. Okay, so the first thing I'm just doing is off of this parry, I'm using that as the same time as my step for the inside leg kick. So this parry is hitting at the same time my foot is hitting, and then that is coming out. Okay, so as opposed to him punching, parrying, and then I'm going again where I'm wide open for his countering. I'm trying to make my counter land the second his should have landed. Okay, so he's punching, and that's there. Same thing with the body kick here. So whatever the step is, that needs to land at the same time your parry lands. Same thing on for the cross. Okay, as this parries, that is my step. Maybe for a right body kick, step, bang, there, or a knee, or an elbow, or a leg kick. Anything you can do is available to you off of these strikes. Now, there's certain ones that are going to leave you more open to a follow-up counter than others, but I still want to learn how to have the ability to do this regardless of what it is that he throws me. But for me, that inside leg kick, that body kick is something I'm always looking for off of the jab, almost as a setup. It's almost like a jab for myself. So he's going, I'm using this to disrupt him, to see what's available, maybe trying to draw out a farther counter for him, which is going to open up something more for me. But again, the best way to do this is to do it slowed completely down, even with him just standing there, so you kind of feel how the step needs to work. Same thing on the cross. I'm stepping at the same time as the parry, stepping at the same time as the parry. Your distance, your balance, your posture, all those things are the most important part. It's not necessarily doing this quickly and it working. I need to know where it is that I'm open for his counters, how he can follow up, those kinds of things, and I'm only going to figure that out by doing it extremely slowly. And again, I want to know how to do every single counter possible off of each one of those. And then I'm going to chain those together into combinations and that kind of thing. But by simplifying this, it's easier to wrap my brain around how to apply this to everything else.
Awesome. Guys, we are live right now, so you can ask questions for Kevin. Later up, we got Lurdzilla, Joe Natawat, Eddie Abasalo, absolute Muay Thai legends here, so stay tuned. Again, we're here on behalf of Super Seminars, which is December 8th and 9th this weekend in Los Angeles at Temple City at the Shaolin Cultural Center. Grab your tickets, use the code UNDERDOGS to get $50 off. So the question that we got so far, demo a flying knee. Come on, of all the things.
People, why does people want to do that? I'm injured right now.
Kev's got a broken rib, a rib that popped out. So I think maybe the flying knee. You could coach me through it. I
can kind of explain it. Again, it's the more we can kind of take out the guessing of fighting, the better. I can't just hope he's going to be where I want him to be. That's where we end up in a really bad position, particularly on something like that where you're leaving yourself extremely exposed to a counter. So if he's not where I want him to be, I'm doing a lot more harm than good. So what I'm trying to do is get him in a position where I know where his weight's going to be, I know where his balance is going to be. This is a situation where maybe I can use a feint, and I know someone's going to kind of base shell up for that thing. That ideally, that's the best way. Okay, when you got somebody that's moving a lot more fluid, I'm probably not going to do a flying knee on somebody like that. So maybe I'm using a jab or a cross, and he's covering up here, bang. Now, just like the other one I showed you, I'm going to use that to hide what is coming after the fact. Okay, so I'm not sitting on this and then going again. I'm almost showing this and then coming in with that flying knee. Whether it's a jab, whether it's cross, whether it's any strike you want to do, the more we can take the guessing game out of fighting, the better. I don't ever want to just hope he's where I want him to be. I want to know for a fact, or a relative fact, that he's going to be where I want him to be. And that's where feints come into play. That's where just touching comes into play. Everything doesn't need to be an actual hit to give you the information you need to have.
Right. Good stuff. Is a flying knee something that you would use both in the center of the ring and against the ropes? Do you favor one or the other?
Always you want them to kind of be coming into that strike. You know, that's why when someone's like backing away, it's not necessarily the best thing to throw. But now if they're backing away into the ropes, I can use them coming off the ropes to make that work a lot better.
Right.
And again, it's a very difficult thing to practice in the gym because you're going to risk injuring people. But so many of these things that we need to train, we need to practice the steps that lead up to the actual hit. You don't necessarily have to hit them with a flying knee to know you did everything correctly, you got the spacing you needed correctly. Same thing with the elbows. I don't need to hit him in the face with it to know I'm where I needed to be, my timing is where it should have been, my placement is where it needs to be. And those are the things we need to focus on a lot more than the actual hit. And that's the thing that tends to throw a lot of people off, is they're so focused on hitting each other that they're not actually learning the steps needed when they actually get in the ring. It's not really going to work out.
Right, range and timing. That's what's ultimately the key. So one last question is, got to remember that a lot of these people watching are very much beginners, or they practice other styles like karate and taekwondo. So the question here is, what is the best fundamental technique for Muay Thai for a beginner who's just starting out? What is one thing that they should really focus on more than anything else?
Basics of everything.
Yeah.
Your balance, your range, and everything. So for me, this is something I do on a daily practice. Every single day I do this either by myself or with a partner. And that's just, I'll do a round of just basic punches. Just very slow like this. Making sure my distance is where it needs to be, my footwork is where it needs to be, my range is where it needs to be. Same thing with kicking, bang. I'm working a lot more on my placement and where it is I'm hitting, and that way when I speed things up, I don't have to think so much about where it's going. You know, we tend to jump into the end too quickly, and we're hurting ourselves. We're not landing things the way they needed to land. So by slowing everything down, by simplifying and going into the basic fundamentals of everything, it's going to allow you to get to that higher level. And it's something you will find the high level fighters is we will all really emphasize basics, slowing things down, fundamentals, because only fundamentals will allow you to get to that higher end. But you continually have to go back to them. We're building this house on our base, and if you don't have that base, your house is going to fall down no matter how high up it gets.
Love it. I know that's something that you preach all the time. You can never be too good at the basics, and I couldn't agree more. Well, next up we got Joe Natowat. So thank you, Kevin, very much, sir, for coming on. Guys, leave your comments. And then next up we got Joe Natowat, Lion Fight champion in 2 different weight classes, absolute Muay Thai legend. Let's bring him in, Joe Natowat. Thank you, sir. So what are we going to be learning today? What do you want to teach?
We're gonna do kicks.
Okay, love it. I love it. Kick me.
So we're gonna do the basic kick first, you know. So most I like to do, you know, people have different style, right? So what I do is like just same thing like Kevin said, you know, make sure your basic is right, good balance, your range, your distance is good. So what I do, like if you do right kick first, you know, step side, everything normal, like you just stand normal, step side. So now when you kick, you know, it's the whole body thing, right? So make sure your heel, my leg, my hip, everything go forward to the target right away, like one. So right from here, all the way up to the target, right? Just one. Stand like normal. You step, everything look fine, normal. Your body don't move anywhere. Then you just up, whole body, your hip here, go up to the target, right? So now, so what I like to do, you know, I like to. So if you just step kick, right? Everybody sometimes like everybody can check and stuff. So when I kick, mostly I wait for my opponent to throw the jab. You know, everybody throw jab in the fight. So when they throw jab here, boom. So when they jab, so But the main thing, like you have to know what you want to do. You know, so I'm like, okay, now I want to kick. You know, I look. So when the jab comes, when I parry, just basic parry here. See, my leg already moved, right? So sometimes you go cross, I get it first. So now, just step out, right? Because same thing, he gonna cross right here, like cross right here. So if I kick right here, see, I still get hit, right? If he cross here, right, my leg already out, and I just go this way. See, she completely out. So the main thing, I stop the first jab first. So right here, if he go 1, 2, he like stop, then I go. Same thing, just lift the hip up to the target. So the main thing, like if you wanna practice, same thing, don't have to go hard. You know, I always have my opponent just move around. We move around together, you don't jab, I just block, then I go up. And that's it, go slow, make sure, same thing like Kelly say, you know, basic is right first.
Yeah.
Don't have to go hard. Make sure your basic is right, distance is good. You see it, you go. You come back down, same thing. So after the kick, don't just let go. You know, I always like here, kick, boom, come back. I try to go again, or I stay back out, but always keep the balance good. Boom, come back, balance good. So sometimes I try to go again, or sometimes I do double kick. But the main thing, like I always do, you know how to like slow my opponent down, because mostly guy I fight before, they always have good hand, right? So I try to hit him here or hit the arm, but I don't kick one time, right? So I land, I come back, like I say, go up fast, you have to come back down fast, and then you follow up, you know, one round. After that, you can feel like the arm or like they get tired, like they slow down, and then I kind of like pick it up, you know, like take over the fight.
That was my question for you, Joe. When you throw kicks to the body, what are you aiming for? I know you can hit, some people hit high up on the shoulder because they want to hit the forearms, some people go for the ribs. What are different spots that we can aim for?
Well, some people like to here, but I always like to do right here, like, you know, I call wing, like wing, right below the wing. So when you cut the wing, they cannot fly, they cannot go anywhere. So right here, like, even I go knee, right? If I do knee here, you can take it all day. If I go so hard, you still fine. But if I do it here, you don't see the bone, the rib.
Yeah.
It like hurts more, you feel more. So when I kick, I try to do it right here.
Awesome.
That's it.
There you go, guys. There's the secret. Hit on the ribs, break the ribs.
Yeah,
What's
make
for
sure
dinner?
your chin, yeah, just put all forward right here. They will feel something. Go up fast, back down fast, then you follow up. Or you can do double kick. And now next one, we just do same thing now. Kick with left. I do the same thing, right? So I wait for the jab to come, just block here, and then I switch fast. So now, you switch, right? The main thing, left kick is switch kick. So if you don't switch and you kick hard, that's great. But sometimes you need to switch, you know.
Right.
So if normally I don't switch. If I do, you know, I don't go back. You know, when I switch, most people like I see they go like straight, like this straight line. So I try to do like side.
Okay.
So it depends. Sometimes my right not moving. It depends on the distance anyway. Like it depends. You know, like the Muay Thai, you have good eye would be the best because when you see it, you do it. Right? I see it coming here. It depends on my opponent come. You know, some people like they jab like this. Some people they jab like this. So you gotta see like here. Sometimes the jab is close. So I just turn, same thing. I don't kick with my leg, you know, I kick with my hip. So here, all the way up, just up there, and then the best way to do is do double. So they always get hurt. Or if I switch right here, same thing. Here, good distance already. My left, just go side. See, not back, just side. Here, on my toe. Make sure it's not like this. Always right here, on my toe, then it just turn. So now, just hip forward, everything like right kick, but it just switch first, right? So now. Same thing like when I practice in the gym, I just have my friend, you know, just walk around and throw jab. Walk around and throw jab. Nice and slow. Make sure my basic is good. Good distance good. Here, boom, switch, go. Same thing. Up fast, back down good, good balance. Sometimes I follow up. Or sometimes go right here, boom, here, then you can go again. Before sometimes I kick, they come, right? When I stop it here, you know, they can't come anymore. Something like that. So the basic just the kick. So no right kick and left kick, I do the same, right? I do the same. Hip forward, your whole body up and go forward. Left kick the same thing, but left kick switch first. When I switch, I go side, not back, and I do like really small step, right? So most people sometimes they go like this.
Yeah.
So your opponent see, and it's not gonna work. But if you go like this, see, almost like no switching at all.
Yeah. So, we've got a couple questions here for Joe. Thank you very much for that. I wanted to point out one real quick detail that I thought was very important. Was he talked about when you throw your kicks, it should be go into your opponent, right? When we think of round kicks, we think of circular, like chopping through. But he kept saying when you throw that kick, make sure you're going into the target, straight through. So the first question is, how long have you been training Muay Thai?
Man, this is long. I always have this question. Also, main thing like almost Thai champ, you know, like they train, they start young and then train, move to the gym, live in the gym,
Yeah.
all the way until they're like great. That's why all of them good. But I grew up with soccer, so I played professional soccer in school. So like
No Muay Thai when you were young?
no, I started soccer when I was 4, but then when I was like 10 years old in school that I trained, you know, the new teacher moved in, so he hit the back, you know, he do back work after class. So after class, me and my friend like 2 team, right, 12 or 22 kids, we all just train soccer, like we do like
Wow.
professional like competition,
Yeah.
train soccer. After that, I just walked in, I saw him hit the back, so I walked like, what is this? What are you doing? Why you hit the back? So he told me like, okay, this is Muay Thai. So I'm like, what's Muay Thai like? So this is Muay Thai. So I'm like, can you teach me? So after that day, I train. You know, I live in school when we have tournament. I live in school. After class, I train soccer. So after soccer, I train Muay Thai. And
Okay.
then you know, like I really like it. Like I feel like and it's also helped me with soccer because I play forward, right? I play forward. So more I have to fight with like defender, right?
Yeah.
Because I score.
Right.
So Muay Thai make me like good, like I can't attack because like he teach me like clinching and like that. So it's good for me like to attack with like all that
Yeah.
stuff. So it helped me too.
Yeah, that's not the traditional how you got started in Muay Thai story with a guy from Thailand. It's interesting.
Yeah. So when I moved to high school, do same thing, Muay Thai and then soccer
Very
until
cool.
I finished high school and then. So the main thing like after high school, you know, soccer wasn't that big that day. I could not make anything, make a living off soccer. So I went to university.
Yeah.
So I paid for them like university, but it's good. But they didn't give me any money to pay. But you know, I was in a really good position. But then I decided to quit. I'm like, man, let's just try Muay Thai again. Man. So I tried with top kickboxing, but no success because like not experience, not experience. Not in Thai, I compete with Thai. They have like high experience. So I decided to leave, move to the island, just work, quit Muay Thai, and then move to I have opportunity to move to the US in 2013. That when I know Kun Pon from Bangkok Boxing. So I went there, and then after like I think from the island and US, so I take like 5-6 years off, and then I have first fight and I won. I'm like, oh, and then
I'm good at
second
this.
fight later, and then I take 10-day notice, and then after that the second fight I take 24-hour notice, and then I won again, and I like killed that guy. I'm like, oh,
Wow.
I'm good too. Then after that, I train for real. So after
Yeah.
that, until now, I train. I keep getting better like fast, but you know,
Wow.
I train hard.
I did not know
I
that.
don't have talent, but I have really hard work.
There you go, there you go. Well, for you guys saying, is it too late for me to join a gym or to start competing? There you go, it's never too late. Get into it and dedicate your time to it. Like you said, it's not talent, it's hard work. All right, last question for you is, when do you throw a spinning elbow? At what point do you set it up? Is it when someone's coming in? When do you throw that spinning elbow?
Oh, let's give you, in the fight, I train spinning elbow, but in the fight, I never train spinning elbow. I go normal elbow. But same thing, like I try to time my opponent. Mostly I do like in clinching now, I try Muay Thai, or like let it simple. Same thing, my opponent throw the hand, right? Just one hand right here, I block, I follow him right away. Or like, you know, some people they come different hands. Sometimes they come with right, sometimes they come with hook or whatever. Sometimes I just cover, like you come with your hand, I just cover like this. Then you come with this, then you chin down here. So I just go with my leg, just step in, right? Just one. Sometimes when you come with cross hook, I walk with cross, I step in right way, just like that. Yeah, I don't really do spinning, but yeah, normal elbow I can do good.
There you go.
It's,
There you go.
it's just, you know, practice. I spend a lot of time on the back, like practice my elbow.
Yeah, there you go. Guys, you gotta remember elbow is short range attack. So, like Joe said, if someone's stepping in, jam them up with the elbow, have them run right into it. So it'd be the same thing with that spinning elbow. We know Gaston Bolaños, CSA Gym, he likes it off the parry. So when someone steps in on that jab, just like Kevin taught, step to the outside, and then you can spin through, catch him with that elbow. All right, guys. Next up is going to be Eddie Abasalo, Silky Smooth. So, Mr. Joe Natawat, thank you, sir, so much for coming on. Appreciate it. Guys, we got Eddie Abasalo up next. So, any questions that you have for him? He's one of the most creative guys when it comes to training, practice. Someone that I definitely emulate. So, without further ado, let's bring him on. Mr. Eddie Abasalo. Good to have you, man. Good to have you here, man. So, you got some of the most unique, creative ways of training. How do you come up with this stuff?
I'm just in there, man.
That's just your life.
Like I don't try to think of okay, what new innovative ways can I train? You know, I'm just like a kid in a playground.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
It's like sometimes I'll go play with the handlebars. You know, sometimes I go on the slide. You know what I mean? Like that's how I see the bags and everything in the gym.
Well, dude, that's good because you'll never get bored of training. Like,
yeah.
if you're having fun like you are at a playground like a kid, then training will never get dull for you.
Yeah, and there's no like, oh, you have to hang on the monkey bars. You know, sometimes kids climb on top of the monkey bars.
Right, hang from the legs.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like any way you could play with the bags or your environment. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. I gotta say, you really inspire me when I watch your videos on Instagram. You guys, you gotta check him out. What is it? The Eddie Abasalo Show, right?
Yeah.
On Instagram. Really creative stuff, balancing drills, switching stance stuff. What are we gonna be learning today from you?
Just
teach.
directing your opponent or partner.
Okay.
You know, basically making the percentage higher of where you want to land, how you want to land, where to put your opponent. You know,
I like it.
If you know where to put your opponent and where they're going to be, you know, you're that much more ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying?
And
offensive and defense.
You're one of the best at doing it. WBC champion, had tons of success in lion fight, right? And crazy knockouts, body shots, and elbows and everything else. So I'm all ears. I wish I had my notebook out for this one, but I'm definitely gonna rewind and watch this. So without further ado, go ahead.
So I just it's sort of like parrying, but an aggressive parry.
Okay.
I mean, more offensive.
Right.
We use defensive as well, but right. If I want to, basically, there our center line, right?
Right.
Your center line, my center line.
Let's stand on the actual center line. There we go. Now we got a good visual.
So imagine like there's a stick pointing out of your nose, right? And I'm trying to get this angle.
Okay.
I don't always have to move to get that angle. I can move you to that angle.
Right.
So if I move you to that angle, a little bit here, a little bit here, so that's work for me. You know what I'm saying? So I can move you into a kick. I can move you into a body punch, you know? I can fake this way.
Yeah, because you push me here and I'm bracing for this direction, then I'm real off.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Basically, if I push you forward, you're going to want to resist. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Whatever I do, if I try to pull,
I'm going to pull back.
You're going to pull back. If I push this way, you're going to
like
resist.
that.
So I just use the resistance against it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? And then the opportunity just presents themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But I'm not just coming in, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, I'm like poking at you, trying to get you annoyed and aggravated, which is why I'm, you know, sitting here and pop, right? And then, so it's just simple. Either move you to the left or move you to the right. And any strike can come. You know? Boom, boom, boom.
Boy. So, and you're just using, this is something that you can do obviously with boxing gloves, with MMA gloves, in a street self-defense situation. You're just grabbing like high at the wrist? Is pretty much what you're doing?
It's all circumstantial.
Okay.
I'm saying you're just playing with it. You don't have to use your palm. You can use your wrist. You can use your arm. You know, sort of like Wing Chun.
I was just gonna say, it looks like a Wing Chun motion.
Like, boom, just using your forearms and everything. If you can get close enough, you can get their elbow, which is like a boxing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Technique. If you are close enough, you can use their head. You know, it's just all distance and circumstances. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
So yeah, man, it's just like usually with the partner. If I don't have a partner, I'll just do it on the bag, right? And just feel my way. So we'll go 1-1, right? And then you'll come back. Any strike from this side when you push me this way. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa.
Okay.
You know? So. Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? It gives you more control and more awareness of where they're at and where they're gonna be because you're connected. You know what I'm saying?
I love that because the one thing that people always say is if you can create an angle to where you're looking into their ear, then you have the dominant angle.
Yeah.
But but everyone always wants to, like you said in the beginning, move around and create that angle.
Yeah.
But instead of moving yourself, move your opponent.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. All right, so we got questions coming in. Tips on not being stiff. How do you be loose in a fight? How can you loosen up? This is a tough question to answer. We did a video on this before, and it took me a while to come up with some stuff.
Not being stiff is just repetition.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no like secret ingredient. It's all repetition. You know. I'm constantly shadow boxing. You know what I mean? Just constantly. Even if I'm just like chilling with my friends or whatever. You know. And I'm just sitting here just. I'm always in motion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just get comfortable with your motion, and don't let the psychology mess you up. Because you know what I'm saying? When we drill, we want it to be like a fight, but we stress the drill and do more than we need to.
We
You know what I'm saying?
overanalyze.
Yeah, do the drill nice and calmly, do the bag work nice and calmly. When you shadow box, don't expect nothing or don't try to, you know, you're shadow boxing. I see too many people shadow boxing like they're actually hitting, but everything is missing.
Right,
You know
right,
what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah.
There's no periods or it's all commas. You know,
Ah.
whether it's defense, offense, counters. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff.
There's no periods. It's all
Yeah.
commas. I like that. I like that.
And then when you get into a fight, you know what I mean? The word fight is what gets us all
right.
distorted, you know what I mean?
Yeah, anxious.
The way I look at things is if I could be calm in drilling, sparring is just high-paced drilling, fighting is just high-paced sparring, you know? So, in all, fighting is just intense drilling.
Right, right.
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
yeah.
Everything is a drill. Offense, defense.
You look exactly the same in your fights that you do when you have your headphones on in the gym and you're just moving.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like you've been there thousands of times
Yeah.
before, totally calm. That's great information. Thank you, sir. Yeah, all right. Well, without further ado, we have no more questions, and I think we're going to bring on Lordzilla. Mr. Eddie Abasalo, thank you, sir, so
Thanks,
much
bro.
for coming on. Great information. Guys, don't forget, SuperSeminarsWorldSeries.com. You can come train with all of these guys. We still have Lordzilla up next to teach you guys some stuff. But don't forget that if you use code UNDERDOGS at SuperSeminarsWorldSeries.com, you get $50 off of your fee. So it's going to be December 8th and 9th at the Shaolin Cultural Center in Temple City. So we'll see you guys there. It's going to be a great event. I'm excited. All right, Mr. Lordzilla, like a word, Muay Thai legend here. Sir, thank you so much for coming on. Thousands of fights. Now, how many fights have you? Over 200?
Me too.
Yeah,
But my record is 200 something, but the real, I cannot remember because when I start fight when I young and
Uh-huh.
remember.
That's when you know you fought a lot, when you can't remember because you started so young. All right, so what kind of techniques are we going to be learning today?
Yeah, I will teach you about my style. My style, I not too good power. That's why when I fight, I have to do like a sneaky fight. I let my opponent get angry and get the point from the judge. So I did.
Okay.
And if I normal kick, okay, if my opponent is good defense, he block. You see, if I keep kicking, but he could block is not that good. I have to do round kick inside, but second time I move, I let him block, but I turn to this side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. First time I let him block, second time I turn to this side. And I drop my leg, and I try to finish with a large kick. So I do 1 and 2 and blocking and try to finish with a large
Jeez.
kick.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome stuff.
But the main thing when I second kick, I don't kick with the whole leg because too slow. I smack with my foot. Just let my opponent is yeah, and then when I kick, I hit with my foot and I drop my leg and then try to finish with the last kick. The last kick I can do much the question mark kick
Yeah.
or round kick, whatever. So we do 1 and 2 and 3.
Oh, man.
Again, 1, so my foot, drop my foot and finish with the last kick.
Man. Great stuff. Thank you, sir. So I just want to point out, guys, he's doing pretty much an outside crescent kick, which is traditionally more so like a Taekwondo move, but this is a Muay Thai seminar with Muay Thai Legends. They're teaching boxing, they're teaching Wing Chun, they're teaching Taekwondo. So these are guys that are at the elite level, and it's not just Muay Thai. You know, people kind of get closed-minded and they section off what they're studying. But remember, if you want to get to the top level, you need to train with the best. You need to learn from the best if you want to be the best. So, Brazil, thank you so much for coming on, guys. Remember, tickets are at superseminarsworldseries.com. If you use the code UNDERDOGS, you get $50 off of your tickets December 8th and 9th here in Los Angeles at Temple City. Got one more, the question mark kick. That was the last question. All right, so no other questions, and we're going to wrap it up, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll have the link in the description below. But until then, I'm Shane. This is Muay Thai legend Lordzilla. Until next time. See you guys later.